live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We are live. What's up, everybody? Love you. I missed you. It's been a while, but we don't care. Welcome back to the show. As you can see, Brandon is not with me. He is still in Texas on his hero's journey right now. So shout out to Brandon. We love you. You'll always be my co-host on the podcast. So for right now, I'm kind of just running the show by myself. We're going to keep it going until Brandon gets back. So I just want to say welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I got a sick Princeton flag behind me. And it says 2023. And so as you guys know, that's about, 2-3 years from now? It's a very special year to me and my guest. Because that's the year that he's going to be graduating from Princeton University. Please welcome my guest, Zachary Jaramillo. What's up, brother?
What up?
Welcome back. Let's not miss it this time. Hey! Welcome back, second time around.
Round two.
So for those of you guys that don't know, my close friends do, because I've been stressed out all week. Me and Zach, about a week ago, shot a full-on hour hunt.
Yep.
And it was probably the best episode that we've ever shot on this show.
I don't believe that.
And it just got lost in the archives. So there was a connection issue with my microphone. And so we basically sounded like robots, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we sounded pretty terrible.
Yeah, so it was like we watched it and like we were just so defeated. And I sent it to like all my sound experts. I'm like, bro, can you help me? They're like, sorry, bro.
Heartbreaking.
Tears. So luckily, man, you're a good sport. You're willing to come back and, hang out with me. I mean, we're cousins, so it's just like hanging out to us. It's not a big deal. And plus, you live like 5 minutes away. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
For those of you guys that don't know, me and Zach are first cousins. I've known Zach since he was born, running around in his little superhero outfits. Going to school, going to Walmart. He would have like an Iron mask. He'd have like an Iron Man Halloween mask with like Hulk muscles, Captain America shield, bro. This guy was against the grain for like day one. And I don't know, man. Do you have any memories of like when we were younger? Like, do you remember? Like, don't get me in trouble here, but.
No, nothing that would get you in trouble. Yeah, some of my first memories would definitely be going to your wrestling meets, going to watch you. Going to Belen to some wrestling practices with you and your dad. I remember like when I was really young, some of my first memories were
junior wrestling.
Yeah, junior wrestling, going and see all you guys working on the mats. I think I did it for like a year, hated it, absolutely hated wrestling. But yeah, I remember that whenever I was really young, and then going over to Auntie's house and
for sure.
Water balloon fights and stuff like that. Things like that.
You know what I really like just hearing you say all that? Like I remember like being a kid and you were like kind of like a baby, but just all growing up through elementary, going to Nana's montanzas.
Yeah.
And just everyone just running around, bro. Like it was like seriously, all the adults were partying and all the kids were just like, it was like a free for all, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, those were good times.
We'd be getting into trouble and some crazy uncle would give me a sip of his beer to stir the chicharrones. Just kidding.
Yeah, those are good times for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited to have you, man, because like I said, man, this flag is special to us because, not only did you get into Princeton, man, but you're in the middle of it, man. You're diving into a whole new semester. You're a sophomore now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Almost done. This was week 12, so we just finished up our last week of classes. We have 2 more days of classes next week, and then finals and everything coming around the corner, and we'll be done with sophomore year in about 3 weeks.
Man, has it flown by? Yeah.
This semester actually was pretty quick. I'd say the fall seemed like it was lasting forever. I was home alone. We all got sent back with COVID, so everything was online. That semester kind of sucked. But now it's kind of, we're in the flow of things. Went by way faster. Have my roommate here to train with, so
nice.
It's been a lot better, I'd say.
Dang, man. Well, I bet you that was kind of depressing at first, huh? You're like, finally get to Princeton. You're like, I'm here. Let's go. How long were you there for before they sent you back?
So I went there freshman year, so I think that was like 2019.
So you got to spend at least 1 full year there?
What? Almost. So I went in the fall, was able to do the fall semester there, and then it was about halfway through the spring semester my freshman year they sent us back. So it was
my gosh.
in March last year. Yeah.
Dang. And so didn't you say they gave you a choice? Like, do you want to stay on campus? But like you basically quarantined like in your like
this semester they did. So like this In the fall, they didn't let anyone back. There were like mixed signals. First, they were like, yeah, well, we're only going to let freshmen and juniors back, and then sophomores and seniors will be back in the spring. Then they like went back on that, and they didn't let anyone back, which caused a bunch of problems. And so nobody was back in the fall. And then this spring, they basically said, well, we're going to let anyone who wants to come back, but you're going to be living in a single living space. Like, you have to live by yourself. Basically, you can't go out. Like, all the classes will be online. You could go outside, like, sporadically. Thankfully, like, the rules have gotten a lot better now, but whenever they first, like, sent them out to us, it sounded like it was prison almost.
Yeah, like, okay, you could come, but you're, like, basically in your dorm.
Yeah, you'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks before you came in. Yeah, no visitors can come in. No gatherings, no parties, anything like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really
so college. Once you heard that, you're like, I'm out.
Yeah, it was really... There was, like, no reason to go back unless you wanted to see your friends. Because, like, you couldn't even go to classes. Everything would still be on Zoom. But
that sounds horrible.
Yeah. And
so
then
so you decided to move here, right?
Yeah. So I actually had so there's only 2 javelin throwers on the team right now, me and Chandler. And I actually had Chandler move out to New Mexico with me. So we're renting a house and stuff, and we're able to train and study.
Dang, I bet you that helps out a lot, because you guys are like literally on the same frequency.
Yeah, you know, totally.
With sports, school, it's like you guys both get it, you know?
Exactly, yeah, we're doing almost the exact same thing. I mean, obviously when we train, we do the exact same thing, but he has his classes, I have my classes, and it's been pretty nice.
Think about, like, worst case scenario, like, let's say you came back and, like, moved in with, like, one of your friends from here or something.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not on the same page and they're like, and you're like literally trying to go to Princeton classes and they're like throwing parties like midweek and stuff, that could just be a recipe for disaster.
Totally. Yeah. So it's been nice to have him here.
Cool, man. So how did it feel to throw this last week? Wasn't it your first time in a while?
Yeah, it's been 2 years. So back, like I said, whenever we got sent back in March, we were 1 week away from competing at our first like spring break meet back in.
And that was when it was about to start, right? Like track season's like in the summer.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So it was gonna be the first meet. It was gonna be our opener, and then from there we were probably gonna have like a meet every weekend, every other weekend until school ended. But they sent us back like that Friday or that Sunday, and no track. So it's been 2 years since I've been able to compete from high school. So it was pretty nice. It felt great to be back on the track and back in that competing, you know, that atmosphere. So
that's cool, man. Man, you've been on a crazy journey, man. Like, I know we're talking about, like, where you're at now and stuff, but, like, I mean, I've known you. We grew up, like, in a small town, right, in New Mexico. Like, Belen, I mean, you lived in Belen for most of your life.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you look at the statistics, Belen is the lowest in education, highest in home theft, basically highest in... Basically, like a bunch of criminal activity, like everything it's just like the lowest.
Drug use.
Yeah, drug use, everything. Like I was reading a page that had all the stats on like Belen, and it's like we were in that, bro. That's where we were birthed, and I mean it's not some people's choice where you start, but it's our choice where we want to go, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like at a young age, you weren't always like Princeton. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it there, but you basically put 100% into everything at a young age, you know. You were you realized the importance of education and like what it meant to get good grades even in elementary school, you know, like when you went to family school, right? Is that where you started?
So like we started going my mom sent me to Jaramillo Elementary School, which is just like one of the normal elementary schools in Belen.
When you first started?
Yeah, so I was kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then 4th grade, because Jaramillo ended in 3rd, they sent me to family school, because family school was like the only school in Belen that had any good like school test scores, and they were doing really well, you know, even like for the state. And so they were like, well, we're going to send him there. And yeah, from 4th grade to 7th grade, I stayed at family school, and then obviously moved up to Albuquerque.
Nice.
Later on.
Dang, man. So you started off, so you went to Jaramillo, family school, and then once you started high school, your family moved to Albuquerque and you started going to academy, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just like get into academy, right? Like, don't you have to test in to go in? And don't you have to have a certain GPA to even qualify?
Well, I mean, there's not really a GPA when you're in like 6th grade.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know what I mean? So what do they do? Like, just take like a...
Yeah, you have like an entrance exam. It changes, so like in 6th grade, I don't even know. I think
what's the quadratic formula?
Yeah, it's probably not the craziest stuff. But yeah, so you do like a reading I think it's like you do a writing and a reading exam maybe, and then you do a math part.
Oh, okay.
And so if you do well on that, then they say, hey, we'd like you to come to school and stuff. And
dang, man. So like when you're like going to school like this whole time, and you know you've done plenty of sports, you were very athletic. Did you have like anyone that like stood out to you that kind of motivated you along the way, like specifically in like education? Let's start there. Like, was there any teachers that, you know, kind of enabled you to make you realize like, oh, I can do something, you know, bigger than everyone else around me? Or
yeah. I mean, I don't know if like at the time I would have realized like, oh, like I had some kind of, like, you know, life-changing like moment, you know, where I was like, oh man, like I could do something bigger than this. But yeah, definitely I'd say like starting even like in elementary school with like Miss Benavides, like teaching me how to read and like really like drilling into me like the importance of like just doing all these like tiny things, like literally like if you could learn how to read right, you can learn how to write correctly, then you know like all this stuff is just like building blocks and stuff. So I think probably from there, Miss Benavides was probably one of the most influential people in my elementary
shout out Miss Benavides.
Definitely.
You know, teacher of the decade right here. No, I'm just kidding.
Principal, yeah.
Oh, principal now?
Yeah, she was a principal.
Oh, okay.
But she kind of took over like the reading,
cool,
at least at the higher end.
Yeah, I know her. She's a good person.
Yeah, totally.
Their whole family is.
Yeah,
you know, even from Coach Benavides and all them there.
Mm-hmm.
He always inspired me. I never even played sports for Coach Benavides, but he inspired me like in wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, he, like on the off season he'd give me some prep talk and I'm like, oh dang.
Yeah, no, they're great people. And then I'd say whenever I moved up to family school, I'd probably Mr. Van, who was the 7th and 8th grade teacher. He was probably the most influential person in my life at that time. At family school, they like allowed me to move up a couple maths.
Yeah.
And so like in 6th grade, yeah, it must have been in 6th grade. In 6th grade, I was able to go up and do like the 8th grade math with Mr. Van. And
so they just allow you to like.
Well, you had to
jump
test
around,
it. Yeah, if
like,
you were doing really well, they'd give you like a placement test.
Wow.
They used to use Saxon math, which made it.
See, you don't get that in regular elementary schools.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the problem with a lot of kids. They get bored.
Yeah.
You know, some smart kids, and then they end up failing because they're just so bored and they, you know.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think if you're never challenged,
you get like stagnant
really
almost.
Yeah, totally. You'll definitely stagnate. It's really hard to stay motivated whenever it's something so easy. You know what I mean? How do you learn? Like, how do you get better if it's always like?
Yeah, you can't. You know, you always got to be challenged, and it's like when you're getting challenged, you're like, oh, I wish it was easier. But then when you're not getting challenged, you're like, I wish it was harder. I wish I had some more motivation.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like you gotta, in order to keep climbing, you gotta keep like, you know, overcoming these little roadblocks and stuff in a way.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of painful doing it, it's like worth it. You know, you're getting sharper and sharper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say as a kid, it's definitely hard to realize that too.
So
it's kind of on.
You just it's like you just got to take it like one class at a time. Almost.
Yeah, and it's definitely on like the school or your parents or so. You need definitely somebody to motivate you, especially when you're really young. Because how are you gonna like understand these concepts?
Yeah, when you tell a kid about college in 3rd grade, they're gonna be like, "What? Yeah. What is that? I want to play Fortnite."
Yeah, I will say though that Miss Benavides even back then was saying, you know, we will go to college. All of us. I was like one of her like. Staple sayings that she would use.
Dude,
which
that's
is
so
cool.
Crazy that you say that because, so you know how I'm a junior wrestling coach?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, me personally, growing up in the system in junior wrestling, high school blend, all blend.
Yeah.
No coaches, and I had the best coaches. Shout out Coach Lee, shout out Coach Julian. You guys, you know, made me the best I could be. But through that whole time, no one was ever like, look, we need to start looking at colleges. You know, you need to start, you know, contacting the school. You need to make a video, a highlight video. You need to. It wasn't ever. It was just like, you're gonna take state. You gotta take state. You gotta. Yeah. That was it. Just state. And then after that, so like in junior wrestling, like I took that and like turned it around, and I tell these kids, I'm like, don't just settle for like being a state champion.
Yeah.
I'm like, even now, like the main goal is get an education. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, use this wrestling as a tool. It's just a tool. Education is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not going to be a career wrestler, maybe one or two of you will, but like you got to use this to get, you know, where you want to be in life.
Yeah.
And these kids are just looking at me, bro. Like some of them don't even know But you can tell the older kids is sinking in more,
Yeah.
but still, at least it's like a seed in there.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely planting that seed, just like, getting them to think about that, or even if they're just hearing it in the background and maybe not actually understanding it,
Yeah.
I think that's huge, yeah. Because I think people, like, especially in these small towns, like, they're not looking so far ahead into the future, you know? Yeah, okay, win state, and then it's like, okay, then what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Well, we win state again.
Yeah, and then what if
it's
you
like,
do
well,
win state and then you have that now what moment?
Yeah.
It's like, so what now?
Yeah.
I guess I'll just get a job.
Yeah, nobody knows, and I think that's really prevalent, like especially down in Belen and just a small town mentality, which is it's hard. I mean, how does anyone who doesn't ever leave that place know?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean? So it's kind of interesting how you're saying, like, now that you've kind of gone out, you've gotten a job, got your education, moved up to Albuquerque, bigger city. Now you have this understanding where you're like saying, okay, well, why didn't nobody tell me this earlier on? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's
and it's not no one's fault. It's not no one's fault specifically, but I think we have like a duty to give back. Like we're meant to, for the people that, like, let's say we're a little bit higher in the ladder. We got people that are behind us in age and stuff. It's our responsibility to show them the light.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, share what you know.
Yeah, and in any way, from any age group. It could be your friends that you hang out with. It could be, a little 4-year-old that you talk to. And it's like anytime you make contact with someone, you're sharing your testimony in a way.
Seriously.
I agree and I think that's big because, like, the way that you can inspire people is just telling your story and just being real with them, I don't like when people make it somewhere and they basically act like they never came from where they grew up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I hate Belen or I hate Albuquerque. I'm, like, better than that now.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you have an opportunity to make Albuquerque so much better. Like, you're in a position now. Like, you made it to Princeton. That's a huge deal, for New Mexico as a whole. And all these young kids are looking up and, like, they don't even know that that's possible,
Yeah.
And you basically made it possible. And here you are talking, to the world and saying that it is possible,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I think that it is really important to know where you came from.
Yeah.
And to be able to, like, think, okay, well, I like we said, thinking in the future. Like, okay, well, how can I give back? What were the things that, like, enabled me to get where I am? You know what I mean? And how could I do that for someone else?
For sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like just those little, because like I asked you and we've talked about this. I'm like, what does it take? Like what? Like I want to know. I'm curious because you're very small percentage of people that have done that. Like, is it a different mindset and is it a different what is going on in your head? But you said it's just like little tasks at a time. You conquer each day like it's its own individual task.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're not just looking at it all as a whole. Like if you just think Princeton like in middle school, you probably might get overwhelmed. And it's like,
yeah,
you got to take these little tiny steps. You can't just go up a stairwell by taking one big step. You got to take these little steps to make it all the way up.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like that's what you kind of been doing.
Yeah, what you're talking about, like we said in the last podcast, actually, we were talking about like The Slight Edge.
Yeah.
Which is a great book that I think if all the listeners should.
Slight Edge?
Yeah, it's called The Slight Edge. And I can't remember who wrote it. I didn't look it up from the last time we talked. But yeah, basically it talks about like throughout your life you have all these little decisions. You know what I mean? If it's like, okay, am I going to drink this glass of water right now or am I going to stay playing video games? You know what I mean? Or am I going to go to bed 15 minutes earlier or stay up on my phone? All these little tiny things that you might not think that they're that important in your life. But basically, every decision that you have, you're going to either slightly improve your life or slightly make your life worse. You know what I mean? So it's just the slight edge is basically saying, like, after all these decisions, you're going to either slightly move up or slightly move down. And after a while, all those slight improvements are going to start turning up your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or turning the path of your life downward. So it works the exact same way. And so, like, I've used that to think, like, okay, how can I do all the little things right? And I think that's given me a lot of confidence and a lot of success, knowing that, like, okay, well, I had a great day. I did these little tiny things correctly. You know what I mean? And so you're improving your life because all these little tiny things are going to pay dividends later on in the future. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend reading that book, The Slight Edge.
The Slight Edge. I'm going to have to check it out. Do you know if they have it in audio version?
100%.
Probably, huh?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow, so it's the micro decisions that, count.
Yeah, totally. It's the little tiny decisions that you're not going to even realize that they change your life in any way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But later on, once you get to wherever you were, you say, oh, well, you know, one time I made that decision to do this or to do that.
Right.
And that was the
like
reason
looking back, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so glad I didn't go to that party that night, you know?
Yeah, something like that.
There was
Something so tiny.
Something so bad happened, or
Yeah.
you know, I'm so glad I didn't, you know, the decisions vary vastly, you know?
Yeah, but that's what I would say. I would say do the little things right in life, and nothing bad is ever gonna like come from that. You know what I mean? You're only gonna make your life better if you do that. If you focus on the little
it just
tiny
helps
things.
you stay conscious in the moment, you know? Like some people are just floating through the day, like with just like no thought in like what their motivation or what their motive is.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like with these micro decisions, you have more of like a purpose in your day, you know. But to speak to that, I would say, like, you know how you're saying like it's these little decisions. I wouldn't like focus like too much on like,
I don't think you're
supposed
to freak out. Yeah.
Should I, you know, drink with my right hand or my left hand? Like
that.
Don't take it
No,
like
I don't
literal
think
like
that's
that.
how it goes. Yeah.
You'll know. It's your conscience. It's your inner conscience. It's your guardian angel that it's in the back of your mind. You have these decisions, and you always have a yes or no moment. You know, and you do. Like if you really think about it, it's like, damn, should I just play like Call of Duty for like 2 hours, or should I, you know, clean my house? It's like messy.
Yeah.
It's like those little things. And then when your house is cleaner, it's like, to speak on like Jordan Peterson, you know, he has that book, 10 Rules of Life, or
Yeah, I haven't read it, but
so it's something like similar to that. It's like, first it's like just, he's like, start, like if you don't know what to do, he's like, just clean your room, sort your environment out, you know. If you're like around a messy house all day and stuff, like you're not gonna tackle any tasks, you're not gonna be all there, you know. Once your house and everything's clean, then you're like, okay, now this is accomplished, what can I do now? It's like starting like at the most simple little thing, and then you can handle the bigger stuff down the road.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah, and that's what I liked with like doing all the little things right, is then you don't have to worry about the tiny things that pile up later on.
Right,
you know what I mean?
like, oh man, like I didn't even think to do my homework assignment, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, but it will like free up a lot of your time later on, and then it makes it even easier to do something that like maybe takes a little bit more time. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you had your bed made every day, then it's like, hey, why don't my room didn't get dirty? That, like, you know, this thing like doesn't affect me later on, and then I could spend more time doing something else later. Yeah, I agree with that.
That makes sense. Time management, you know, I think that's like the best. Like now that I'm like an adult and like have a work schedule and all this stuff, it's like, without time management, I will literally drown.
Totally.
You know, like I have to put everything in my calendar. As like silly as that sounds, like even little things. It's like, if I don't put it in my calendar, then I won't. You know, I'll forget.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely going to Princeton, I have had to learn about time management and, you know, like doing all these things when they're supposed to be done.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's kind of no time to slack off and mess around.
Regarding like Princeton, is it true that Einstein was a teacher there, or a professor, like a guest professor?
Yeah, he was. No, I think he definitely was a professor there. I don't remember when. It wasn't too long ago though, because
like before he died, like sometime around when he was like older.
Yeah. There were people that are on campus now that I'm pretty sure that saw him like walking around. Like Nassau is our big street at the top of campus, and there's a lot of restaurants and everything. But people, they have stories of just seeing him like strolling around, you know, probably contemplating.
Imagine having a class with Einstein, like being your teacher.
Yeah.
But he didn't speak English though, huh?
No, yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why. I thought he didn't.
No, yeah. I mean, I think
I thought he only
German.
spoke in numbers or code. No, I'm just kidding.
He only spoke in binary.
His whole life is just equations.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. Actually, whenever your mom and
Janelle.
Yeah, your mom and Janelle and my mom went up for I think it was parent weekend or something. I was able to take them to one of the old classrooms where Einstein taught.
Wow.
And so you could still see like where he would have like written on the blackboard and everything, and really old. The desks are still wooden, you know what I mean? They have the little like chair desk thing that comes up on
It's
them.
crazy how people's presence like stays in like within even like items, you know? Like there's these things that like we leave behind that like you just feel a part of them there. You know, even though they're not there, it's weird. It's like he just like rubbed off in that area.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to think that someone could be that important.
Yeah, and they were just in this one
memory.
spot. It's like there's so much that was birthed in just this classroom.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And Princeton, it's like known to be one of the oldest colleges, right? Isn't
Yeah,
it like the fourth oldest college or something?
Yeah, I think it might be like the third oldest. I would say like Harvard and Yale are probably
Harvard and Yale are like one of the first.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the first 10 in the U.S.
Are the Ivy
probably.
Leagues like the first colleges?
Yeah, I think that's
basically?
why they were like why they're so important now is they were like founded before
like all the 50 states, huh?
Oh, way before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think Princeton started in 1794.
Dude.
Or something like that. Yeah. So
That's a long time ago, man, if you think
maybe
about
it's
it.
1774.
And you still have like most of the old buildings, right? Like it's like
Oh yeah.
Do you have a lot of new structures or is it all older?
There's new structures. So like right now they're actually building like a new, I think 1 or 2 new dorms. So like kind of like we call them res colleges, and I think there's like 7 now. The one that I'm living in, it was made in 2010. So like they make new additions to the university. But if you move up like I said towards that street in Nassau, things get older and older. You know, so like one of the oldest residential colleges is like Rockefeller and Maddie.
Right.
And those places look like they were made back in like the,
just Hogwarts times. Like
oh yeah, old. Like Hogwarts. Actually, we were just talking about this with my parents, but the dorm rooms there actually still have fireplaces in them, and they don't let you use them anymore because I'm sure it's a fire hazard. But back in the day, like before, like there was electricity and stuff probably in there, and before they had heaters and air conditioning. The students would actually have to carry like the firewood into the dorm rooms, and then that's how they would keep their rooms warm. Yeah. Dang. So imagine like studying at Princeton, no phones or anything like that, and then getting your firewood, going up, starting a fire, and working on some kind of assignment or something back then.
I can't even imagine that. That would suck.
But yeah, so you could still see the fireplaces in the rooms, but nobody uses them. They usually put a couch or something in front of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dang, man. A lot of history there.
Yeah, exactly. The history there is insane. It's
That's
really
cool,
crazy.
Man. So, like, going to Princeton, I mean, it's a very prestigious college, obviously. Like, what is it like going to school with all of these kids that are, like, come from, like, billionaire families? And because I'm sure there has to be some of them, right? Like, didn't you say you go to school with, like, some Rockefellers?
Yeah.
Like, who else? There was another name that was like pretty big.
Yeah, so like going to school with like all these kids, like they're definitely like world class.
Like my family's all bankers, and I'm like the next one in line. Like, do you have?
There's I would say that like there's definitely that group of people at Princeton. The school definitely does a good job getting people that like me that have come from like a small town or like a state that may not be like known for going to Ivy Leagues and stuff like that. So there's definitely a good mix of people there.
Yeah.
You do have those people like so. To tell a story, like we have this thing before we start classes your freshman year, and it's called CA, and it stands for community action. And so what they do is like they split you up into tiny groups, like of like 7 or 8, and there are 7 or 8 freshmen, and then you have like 2 sophomores who are like your leaders, your CA leaders. And basically they send you and you do some kind of community work like around New Jersey, Pennsylvania, kind of the area around there.
That's cool.
And so like my CA group got sent to a YMCA, and what they do is like they house you in like a cabin at the YMCA, and then they have like a bunch of other CA groups that are there. So like everybody's there, but we're all doing our own thing kind of. But we'll like still eat and stuff. And there's like kind of like a dining, like a lunch.
That's
hall,
cool, man. So you guys are just networking almost. Like they're just hoping that you guys at least establish some type of.
Yeah, I think they do that for like the students that are going in not knowing.
Yeah, so you're not just going to Princeton and like let's say you're shy and like you never make a friend. At least like when they put you guys all together in these activities, it's like
and they're like, I mean, you don't really choose your group at all. They basically say like, what do you want to do, and then they put you in the group.
So were you with like business? Are there business students?
No, not at all. No. So it has nothing to do about your major.
Oh, okay.
You haven't even decided a major at that point. You haven't even taken any classes. So you know what I mean? You only have ideas.
So did you meet some interesting characters like in this?
Yeah, definitely. So like one of the kids in my group.
So you ever heard of Jeff Bezos? I'm just kidding.
One of the kids in my group, he had already written like I think he wrote a book in high school. He spoke like 5 languages. He lived in like multiple countries. These 2 other kids, so that like out of 7, 2 of them were they were like national math champions. Like they had been going to like the math counts. Or I don't remember what competition it was, but they knew each other from there, and so they were like top 10, top 5 like mathletes.
Damn,
right?
Mathletes.
In high school, and so they had taken like. The math that I had taken my senior year, they had taken like 8th grade. So like, you know what I mean? Even though I was like ahead of the curve, like they were way ahead of the curve. And
Right.
So I don't even know what kind of math they were doing in high school. And then like another kid, my CA leader actually was Travis, and he was a state champ in Pennsylvania for wrestling. I think he wrestled like
no way. Oh, I think you were telling me about him.
178. So he's on the wrestling team.
Dude, Princeton wrestling's on the map.
Yeah, it's like with your shirt.
Gotta represent.
Yes, yeah, we have a lot of great guys on the wrestling team. And then another girl was a water polo player, and then there was this girl named Caroline Frist, and later on we found out that like she's related to I don't know, Mr. Frist, but like our main campus center is actually called the Frist Campus Center. And so whenever
Connecting the dots.
yeah, no, we were literally in the Frist Campus Center before we got sent out to do our CA. Like we got sent out for a week basically to go do that. And they were like, yeah, Caroline Frist. And I was like, wait a minute, we're in the Frist Campus Center. And I didn't know anything about like Princeton history or anything, right? But I was like, so like Frist, like is it like the same name as the building? She's like, yeah, it's the same name. And I was like, what? And then later on I found out that like the grandpa or like her family's worth like $10 billion. You know what I mean? So like there are those type of people. But you get a great mix of people. You get people from, you know, middle of nowhere, people from countries that, you know what I mean, way across the world, and you get people from New Jersey, you get people from the U.S., tons of international people, and it's a great mix of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would definitely say that Princeton does a great job finding just like these super, super unique.
For sure. They're like promoting diversity in the workforce even, and like putting all these minds together.
Yeah, completely.
In hopes that you guys can even create something.
Exactly, just by mixing those people in there with each other, you know, it creates like...
That's cool, man. That's something I didn't like... I wish, like, well, maybe UNM did offer that, but I think I just didn't even, seize the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's what I would say.
Because I was already established here in New Mexico, right? So I'm like, I already know who my friends are.
And most of the people are from New Mexico, and you're going to get these little cliques, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like when they did this campus tour, I'm like, not going to that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different because, like, a lot of people haven't grown up around Princeton, around that type of education.
So you're learning about, like, the history and, like,
you
know, it's just all new to you.
The way of life. And I mean, of course you definitely get those people like, they're like, oh, my dad, my grandpa, my cousins went to Princeton. You know what I mean? It's like been in the family for a while. And those people already know how like the way of life works.
Right.
But for the other people like me who have never, you know, experienced something like that, they do a good job of kind of like dipping your feet in the water and like showing you around and
that's cool.
Putting you in these situations wherever you'll meet like new people, you know what I mean?
Have you ran into like any like super arrogant people who were like, I'm gonna take over the world, like?
No, definitely not. I mean, like even the people, like I said, like Frist or like there's a Rockefeller at schools, like all the way from John D. Rockefeller.
What does he look like?
Well, it's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl?
Yeah. Anyways.
Does she have an Illuminati tattoo anywhere?
No, not that I know of.
Is there like a secret wink? Who's the Illuminati, bro?
I don't know about that. They definitely
what percent of Princeton is...
It's not like Yale, Skull and Bones and stuff like that. But yeah, no, even those people who like, you know, come from a very high society, you know, they're pretty down to earth. You could talk to them. They don't look down on you and stuff like that.
They're
it's a good atmosphere.
World,
yeah,
it's like the birth of like something special.
Yeah, and so like I mean, they'll definitely group together, and everyone eventually finds their group of friends that they're gonna stay with. But you could probably go up to anyone and start up a conversation with them.
That's cool.
Learn about like what is their unique thing that got them into Princeton, and I really like that about it.
That's cool, man. I'm sure a lot of people have shared some pretty cool stories with you.
Oh yeah,
you know, even with the short time you've been there.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself finishing school at Princeton, or are you gonna follow all the way through? Or?
Yeah, I mean you definitely have to. I mean there's no question about that.
So like just for your undergrad, and then do you think you might still go to school at Princeton like for your masters?
Yeah, who knows? Grad school that's a big question. Princeton. Like for undergrad, like what you're saying, graduating, I think they have like a 97% graduation in 4 years percentage. It's like everybody that goes to Princeton is going to graduate from there. I think that other 3% literally just comes if like you had some kind of complication or you had to take a year off, but you're still going to graduate in 4 years.
So it's like once you're in, it's like there's no turning back.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, they don't really accept like any transfer students or anything. So once you get that group of undergrad, those freshmen that come in, they're going to stay together and graduate. So definitely my plan is to finish up 2023. We got 2 more years.
It's going to fly by, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I'm going to be really glad to get back on campus and get back in the dorms and everything and seeing all my friends. But once I graduate, we'll see if I either go get a job right away, or maybe there is the opportunity of throwing 2 more years, maybe at a grad school. So
like another D1 school or something.
Yeah, just getting accepted into a grad program, and then hopefully throwing for them for 2 more years, because I'll still have 2 more years of eligibility for these years that we've lost.
A lot of people, get better, at sports. Like, you're still developing your body. Like, even though you're like in top-notch shape, you're still young, bro.
Totally,
so,
yeah.
Like, if you keep up with it, you could get like 10 times better within 5 years.
Yeah, and actually, like, for my sport specifically, javelin, the really world-class guys are like 27, 28. So, you have to kind of mature into your body even more than you would think to get to be like the best of a thrower that you can
For sure.
be.
I don't think I peaked out in wrestling until I graduated.
Yeah.
Like, after I graduated, I went to like national tournaments and stuff, and I just like was way better. I don't know why. If I just developed later, I just got smarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think there's a development that goes on like that.
For sure. Everyone's body's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I was just thinking? Like, since you throw javelin, like, you'd be the perfect candidate, like, if they made like a 300 movie, like another 300 movie.
To be a Roman.
Yeah, because you're like jacked, and you could just be one of those guys that just launches the spear.
Yeah, no, I do like javelin for that. It's pretty cool whenever you say.
That's what I think
what do you do
bro.
for track? Yeah, well, I throw a spear or something.
Dude, like, if we lived in Roman times, bro, you would be like the war god, bro. You would
No,
be the guy in the
not.
front that just freaking.
And then I would get hit by a javelin. Who knows?
Well, see, you got a good throw though.
Yeah,
you have
I take one guy out at least. Yeah,
you have one good kill, and then.
I'd rather be the guy in the back.
Right. I want to be the guy in the back that's just like making sure people are dead. I'm like
come in after.
Yeah, I'll be like the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
So what about like, and I know your mom and dad are watching this or whatever, but like I still want to ask, what are like Princeton parties like? Like, do you guys have like cool gatherings and stuff?
Oh,
or is
yeah,
it like...
definitely. Yeah. So the motto is, the Ivy Leagues, they definitely work hard, play hard. So you're grinding.
So you got the Jordan Belforts on there somewhere.
Oh, totally, definitely. Yeah. So like the party scene at Princeton, we have these things. So we don't have like frats or sororities. We might have like one frat and one sorority, but they're like not affiliated with the school.
Right.
They're kind of not promoted. They're kind of like underground.
Right.
Underground,
huh? Okay.
We do have some societies. No, but what we do have are these things called eating clubs, and so they kind of function kind of like a frat or a sorority, but they're different in the fact that they're co-ed, so like they're both guys and girls at the eating clubs.
Dude, that's cool. I like that so much better than like.
Yeah, and they're pretty big, but you also, so what they do, like how they function is, freshman, sophomore year, you're supposed to eat in the dorms. There's kind of no questions asked. You know what I mean? Whatever res college you're in, you get put on the meal plan, and you could go and eat at whatever other res college, and the food's pretty good. You get like unlimited swipe. So everybody's basically on like unlimited food plan, freshman, sophomore year.
Cool.
And then when you get up into like the upperclassmen, your upperclassmen years, you can make the decision to either stay in the dining halls or bicker. They call it bickering, which is kind of like rushing, but it's not really. Just because people know what rushing is, it's kind of how I relate it.
Right.
But basically, so like you bicker into one of these. I think there's like 13 eating clubs or something like that.
That's like a casual name. I like that.
What?
Like eating club.
Yeah,
So
well,
sounds like
it's pretty
super
pretentious,
chill.
but yeah.
I like how they give it that name, but it's like probably nothing to do with eating all the time.
No, yeah, you do. So, but what you do is like if you get into the eating clubs, you basically eat your meals there, junior and senior year. So like
they have different levels of like eating clubs almost.
No, all the eating clubs. No. Once you get into the eating clubs, you're gonna eat there no matter what. And so like you'll go and eat like all 3 meals, like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. And it's really, really good food. I haven't been there because obviously I was just a freshman. But the food is supposedly a lot better than like the dining hall food. Like I like it. So in one of them, like where the track guys are mostly, it's called Cannon. I think you could go into Cannon and like they have like a screen. You could like order your food and they'll bring like somebody will bring it out to you. Like okay, I want a steak like tonight, and they'll bring it out to your table.
Damn.
And stuff like that. So that's like. They function as
I just picture like Hell's Kitchen guy in the back, and like in the back they have that
Gordon
guy.
Ramsay, they got the Salt Bay guy going like this. Yeah. No, the food is supposed to be really good.
That's what my mom said, and I think she just had like the regular food.
Yeah, she was only in the dining hall.
She was like,
I haven't even
so
been there.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I like the dining hall food. I love food.
Dude,
so
I'm a school lunch guy, bro. Me and you both are.
I agree. I'll definitely eat anything that's put
I'll
in
throw
front
down
of me.
on some frozen fish sticks any day. Just kidding.
It's a lot better than that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those eating clubs, what they do is like you bicker, you get in, right? You sign up to eat your meals there.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody eats their meals. And then on the weekends, like usually, if you're crazy, you go out on Thursday, right? I don't know how people do that. The engineers definitely cannot do that.
Why?
Just because you have a lot of class. I mean, you still have classes on Thursday and Friday,
okay.
right, or whatever. But so some people go out on Thursday nights. That's like a big thing. But then Friday and Saturday nights, you'll go out to the eating clubs, and we call it the street. So it's called Prospect Street, and it's right off of campus, but it's still like associated with the school. And so what you do is, whatever, we'll pregame like in somebody's dorm, and then you'll head over to the street. And the way it works is like you have to get put on. Well, okay, you don't have to, but some of the parties at the eating clubs, which are all like down in the basements of the eating clubs, these huge basements, you could get in without knowing anybody. So like some of them, like Colonial.
So like people from outside could come or whatever.
Well, that you might have to get somebody. No, so the way no.
Like you mean like within the school?
Yeah. Everyone within the school can get in. So like what they do is like they call it like.
So it's just like an open kind of party.
Yeah, it's like a PUID. So Princeton University, we have these little ID cards.
Yeah.
And as long as you show up with your ID card, then you could get into the eating club. So that's like the freshmen will go in like on Friday, like they'll go to like Charter Fridays, which is like one of the eating clubs, and they'll go and have fun there. But then like on Saturdays and later on in the semester, what you'll have to do if you want to go to like some of the other eating clubs is you'll have to have an upperclassman friend who's in the eating club get you put on the list. So basically you'll say, hey, whoever, can you put me on the list for Canon Saturday night? And say, oh yeah, I got 2 spots. So like every person has 2 spots for each night to get somebody in, right? They send out like a Google form, they fill it out.
Dang, dude, they bet. They're like, that's pretty cool.
And so like then your name appears on this list, and they have bouncers. And so when like you'll stand in line, and once you get up to the line, then you'll give them your PUID. They'll check out, okay, are you Zach? Yeah, you are. And then you're in to the party. And so basically you go down into the basement, and once you're down there, then everybody's just having fun.
History.
Yeah.
As soon as you show up, they give you a Men in Black thing, like
after you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see anything.
Yeah, but the party scene is super fun. I would definitely say that Princeton kids know how to party.
That's cool, bro.
We have these things called.
I feel like you need that school life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you
that
could
balance.
Yeah, you could definitely go off the deep end.
Yeah,
sure,
but that's just part of adulting, you know. You figure that out as you go.
Yeah, no, but they definitely do give a good like a way out. You know what I mean? Like something to take your mind off of school and stuff.
For
so
sure.
That's a lot of fun.
Dude, we need to go to. Now that you're older. Now that you're 21 now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need to like plan a trip like to, just like we should do like a cool music festival or.
Did you see the new festival in Florida? I think.
Which one? What's the name of it?
I don't know what the name of it is. It has everybody.
On my
recently
Instagram, because I follow just a bunch of like, because I've went to so many, they just send me stuff. I've been getting so much promotions for different festivals, like in
all opening up.
July and stuff like that. So I'm like assuming that like by that time everything's just gonna be free for all.
Well, that's what they're thinking. I mean, well, the one that I saw, like I said, was in Florida, so everything's
Florida's all
open there. Yeah, and I think that's probably why they decided to do it there. But hopefully concerts and stuff this summer would be a lot of fun.
That would be sick.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun because like I was waiting, like, so me and Luke, we went to our first concert together.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, and it was, I told Luke, because I've been to so many music festivals, bro. Like, when I was your age, I was just obsessed. Like,
I remember that.
I gotta go to Coachella,
stuff, right?
I gotta go to EDC, I gotta go to whatever, just to get that experience. And, like, looking back, I think that concert with Luke, we went to, it was called Ohana Fest, and it was right on, like, Long Beach.
Yeah.
And it was literally the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it was like this sick festival. And you could literally see palm trees in the sunset, bro. Yeah. And I was with like my little bro, dude, and it was just like jamming Red Hots.
Yeah.
I would love to have that moment with like all of you guys, like get Luke, you.
Yeah, I think definitely going with the people that you go with make the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
That's the main thing, bro. And it's also cool too to like meet new people, like especially like, you know, you're young, you're single, you like just looking to just make friends. Like, I've met people at festivals from, like, other countries that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
You know, like, people from France, people from, like, Hong Kong, people from... And it's crazy because, like, you're all sharing that same moment together, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know anything about this person's life. All you know is they're good vibes and you're just, like, having a good time. You know what I mean?
You're crazy.
But, like, with family, like, Luke, dude, to see Luke all raging, he was like, yeah! I'm like...
Yeah.
Dude, look at this guy.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Yeah, it'd be cool to take Zeke out.
Yeah, Zeke would have fun, man.
Mallow in a long time.
Mallow, he can't come for a while, buddy.
Yeah.
stay doing good in school, bro. Getting those hit sticks.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah, no, I definitely think things are gonna get pretty crazy here in a couple months. Now
I think
that
so,
everybody's
man.
getting that itch to get out. You know what I mean?
I mean,
The
if you look at
vaccine's
history,
coming
all
out.
the pandemics last about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, every pandemic, you know, it's like sucks for a year, and then like the other half of the year, everyone just gets
And then
fed up.
things get pretty crazy after too. Like if you think about like the
Oh,
Spanish
dude, it's
flu
about to
and-
swing like this, bro.
Yeah, the Spanish flu, and kind of like the Roaring '20s and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be.
I think
kinda
it's gonna be
similar to
good. I
that.
think we're gonna have a good 2 years. Like starting in July, I think we're just gonna be full throttle with just
Hopefully.
promotions, events, traveling.
Yeah, people have a lot of money saved up that they haven't been able to use on entertainment.
Yeah,
And
I'm
all
actually
these things.
thankful for that, man. I kind of took advantage of this COVID.
Mhm. I think a
And
lot of
saved
people
up a
have-
lot. I became like, you know, took personal health serious.
Yeah,
I want to keep that going, you know.
yeah. I think that was a big thing to come out of the pandemic. I think they should have pushed it more. You know, people like the media and stuff. But like, yeah, it's like a great time to get like your health right and like all these things, all these different things. You know what I mean? Because we realize now, like, okay, if I'm not healthy, if I'm overweight, or if I'm not doing these things right,
Just
It's
might
pretty
be
dangerous.
consequences,
Yeah, well,
you know.
there's
If
serious
something
cons-
else worse comes.
there's serious consequences even with COVID. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah. Is that your phone?
that might have been my
Oh,
phone.
okay. He's
but-
Jeff Bezos calling. I'll get back to this.
Yeah, no, but I think like it's definitely been a period of history where people are like, okay, they need to get serious about their health and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think the pandemic and quarantine and all that either allowed you, like you said, like where you can kind of, okay, I choose to get my health right, to get my finances and all this in the right spot, or, you know, it could have caused you to go down the other way.
Right.
Kind of staying at home, not doing anything.
Yeah,
not
there's a
working
lot of
out.
people just on unemployment living like as if that paycheck's gonna be there forever. And they're like, I'm making more than I was before. Like, this is the best year ever. I'm like, in a year from now, bro, you better watch out because that check's gonna go away, and you know, at least start planning on what you're gonna do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to see how all that folds out. I think the economy, there's going to be some things that are good and some things that are bad that come out of the pandemic.
And it's like up to you know, how you want to, you know, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So I think like now that things are opening back up and everything, it's gonna be cool because you're gonna get to see all your friends you haven't seen. Like, you're gonna appreciate those interactions.
I think so.
With people so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have like so many like little cousins like that were born over the pandemic, and like some of them I haven't even met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, like that's so important. Like, I wish I could see them right now. So now when I'm with my family or when I'm with you, I'm like, dude, what's up?
I think, yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, like it's only been a couple months since we could like go back out into Mexico, you know what I mean? And people, I think they're appreciating it a lot more now. So hopefully people hold on to that appreciation, you know what I mean? It doesn't just kind of peter out really quickly.
But hopefully don't get too crazy though.
And also hopefully it doesn't get too crazy.
I feel like freaking the STDs is gonna go skyrocket now. Florida, everything. Now with the party scene
cases
is just,
down.
yeah,
STD
everything
cases
else up. Simple math.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. But it's an exciting time, I think.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything? Oh, wait. Actually, you know what? Before we end, I want to talk about current events, kind of stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
So, things that have happened this last week. Jake Paul fought Ben Askren.
I saw that. Yeah, we watched it.
Did you see that?
Yep.
What did you think of that?
I don't know. I mean, so I don't watch fighting like too often. I have now because my roommate Chandler, he's the guy from Princeton.
Yeah,
he
I know
loves,
Chandler.
Yeah, he loves the MMA. He loves boxing. He was a huge boxing fan when he was little. So we've been watching all the fights. There's a big fight tomorrow, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch that one.
Masvidal, right?
Yep.
And,
yeah. We should actually link up if you guys watch it.
We're definitely gonna be watching it. But we had that on with the UFC side by side. UFC was boring. But
what was your just initial thought though? Like after that, just sum it all up. Like after you watched it, what was your like?
Well, so like like I was saying, like my roommate is like a huge MMA fan, boxing fan.
So he's like real critique.
Yeah,
like,
and then my other roommate Jack, he's a huge wrestling fan, so he kept saying like all week, Ben Askren's gonna mess him up. You know what I mean? It's not even gonna be a close fight. Like come on, like Jake Paul, YouTuber, like there's no way he's gonna knock him out. And then Chandler kept going, well, I don't know. I mean, it's boxing. It's not MMA. It's not, he's not going to take him to the ground. And I kind of didn't have an opinion on it, but I wanted something cool to like happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, we watched the fight. Jake Paul knocked Ben Askren the fuck out. I mean, yeah, I don't know,
dude. Like, I don't know.
It was fun to watch, but I also
you know what I think I felt like I was watching.
Yeah.
And I like watched it like on FaceTime. Laguna was like watching it, and I was just watching what he was watching. Because I'm not going to, like, pay money for that. And I just felt like I was watching like a celebrity rehab show.
Isn't it
Like,
crazy how they had like Snoop Dogg commentating?
Yeah, dude.
Jake Paul walks out with the robot. Like,
dude,
guy
I'm
in
like,
the robot.
what is this the end of like Hollywood? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was
I feel like
pretty-
all these celebrities are just holding on to like their like fame, like with their dear life. Like you got Oscar De La Hoya, he's like commentating. He's like, baby, I will fight to the end. Oh, Snoop's weed, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the frick is going on here?
It definitely was pretty weird. Yeah, no, like in the middle of it, I was like,
Yeah,
what
and
are
then
we
they were like,
watching?
now we got Justin Bieber. And
Yeah,
it's like, da-da-ba-boo. I'm like, what?
And who else did they have? They had the other comedian, the guy from SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Ariana Grande's ex. Can't remember his name, but anyways, I was like,
I
that
know
is the
exactly.
weirdest thing to
And he's
see.
just clowning both
Yeah, to
fighters.
see him on there with
Pete Davis.
Yeah, Pete David. Yeah. Pete Davidson or Pete.
Yeah,
David,
yeah.
They had him there with Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg's like, give me my $2 million. Give me my $2 million after Jake Paul knocked
Dude, I'm
him out.
so glad you said that, bro. Okay,
What?
so Snoop Dogg, all these people that are performing or part of this are all investors in Triller, right? Like they're all. That's why they're all
Is
doing
that who
this.
put on the fight? Is that?
Yeah, Triller. It's like
Okay.
a TikTok thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, so Snoop is obviously an investor in Triller, but Snoop is openly bragging about how he bet $2 million on the fight that he's a stakeholder in. Don't you think that's like a conflict of interest?
Well,
Like he's a stakeholder in this business,
Yeah,
but
it
he's
could
betting $2 million. Like,
well, I mean, like other
is that
fighters.
allowed? Like
I
Dana
mean-
White can't bet on UFC fights. Like that's a big red flag. That like I'm not saying it was rigged, but I'm just saying that could leave
I know
the
that
door
that
open.
came out like right away. People were saying, "Come on, was that even real?" Like, it
Yeah,
had to have
and
been
I
real.
personally think it was real.
You do?
Yeah, he really knocked him out, dude. Or he really knocked him down.
Ben
I don't
Askren
think.
looked terrible. I
Yeah,
have to say
he
that.
looked like what did that guy say? He looked like a bag of milk.
Dude, why did he come out? I mean, he really had like a muffin top. Come on. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's always looked like a clown, bro. But Ben Askren, he's at the end of his.
Yeah, no.
You know, he came back for cash grab.
Yeah.
He's always sucked at boxing. He's never thrown hands ever. Yeah, he's just like.
He's always.
And
Got
his
kneed
whole
by
career is
Masvidal.
just takedown.
Yeah.
So he's the last of like the old MMA community where you could still be a champion and just ground and pound everyone, like Tito Ortiz and.
Yeah.
But the sport has grown like tremendously, and you like even now in like UFC, you have to like be all around.
For sure.
If you're one dimensional, you'll get exposed so quick,
Yeah,
bro.
you can't be like the.
And
the,
so
the
like
Gracies.
Jake Paul, whoever his manager is a genius because Ben Askren holds all these titles, all this stuff.
But he's not.
So it's the
proven
perfect
boxer,
fight for him.
right, yeah.
So now you can't say nothing to Jake Paul because he beat a legit fighter. Not
Not in
legit,
a strong
but
suit, though,
in a
you know?
business sense.
Yeah.
You could say he beat an Olympian, he beat all this.
Yeah.
And so like now it's like he's like you can't say he hasn't just been fighting YouTubers.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed about Jake Paul, bro, and the Paul brothers, they can box, dude.
they
can.
hit pretty hard. Yeah.
I mean, they're annoying. They've done vlogs. They're stupid YouTube community, whatever. I like Jake. I like Logan.
Paul?
Yeah, I watch his podcast, but I don't like Jake that much. I think he's a clown.
Yeah.
But he's a good boxer. And so people, just like how when Conor McGregor first started, they focus so much on the character that the most important thing is that they're still a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, Conor, he just talks. He just has this big mouth. He's so annoying. He's going to get dropped. And look at Conor. He's playing touch butt with the sticks. Like, remember everyone was... And then he would knock everyone out, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Jake Paul is anywhere near Conor McGregor. And, dude, think about it. It's his first 3 fights ever.
Yeah.
So you got to give the kid a break. I mean, we can't name Oscar De La Hoya's first fight ever. I mean, he probably might have got worked,
Yeah.
Like, all we know is, like, the end. So we're watching this kid, like, being birthed. So I don't know what's
We'll
gonna
see what
happen,
happens with that. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be interesting if he kind of moves into like actually professional fighters, professional boxers at least. That would be crazy. Going back to the conflict of interest thing, I don't know.
That's
is kind of
weird,
sketchy.
though. Don't you
It
think
is
that's a
kinda
lot
sketchy.
of money?
Yeah.
And like,
Well-
I get it if he did it under the table, but he's like, I'm gonna get my $2 million, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, I think you could bet on it because it's not like he was betting like he's not making the money through Thriller. You know what I mean? Like you could bet it in Vegas, like on okay, this guy's gonna win the fight or this guy's gonna win the fight. But it is kind of interesting because like he was even at like the other fight, right?
Mhm.
And so
he's
is
a part
kind
of the organization.
And I'm sure he talks to Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's like DC or one of those. Just imagine, DC betting $3 million openly while he's commentating,
yeah.
and then the guy gets knocked out, and then it's like, I'm not saying that it's not I'm not saying that it's illegal. I'm just saying that it's
shady.
Like just shady. Yeah.
It's a little shady.
It's kind of weird.
I know that people said that right away. Like I said, like that was like the first thing. You see all the memes though.
Oh, dude! If I had $1 for every like weed comment that they made for Snoop during the commentary, I'd freaking shoot myself. Or I'd be rich.
You'd
bro.
be rich.
Yeah, because this is like, hey, I guess he got a little bit of Snoop's weed over there. Like every 3 seconds, bro. I'm like, what is this? Focus on the fighters.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what else we got? Actually, there was one more thing. Let's see. George Floyd, the guy who murdered him, got convicted.
Yeah, guy. Yeah.
So that was expected.
Mm-hmm, yeah, a lot of people were expecting that.
I'm surprised it happens like so quick.
Yeah, it came
Sometimes
back
they push
really
it
quick.
out.
We were talking, so Chandler, my roommate, and I were talking about that. And we were saying, yeah, if it came back, so like if the jury came back pretty quickly, that he was probably going to be convicted. And that's what ended up happening. You know what I mean? It didn't take very long for them to
I mean, if he didn't, it'd be freaking chaos, dude.
Yeah, that could have been a big problem,
Yeah.
for real. I mean, there was a lot of social media posts and
So
stuff.
I think they did they judged him rightfully, and
Yeah,
he was
yeah, I
serve
mean,
whatever
yeah.
they did. Dude, another thing, I don't know if you knew this. Do you know Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, she's running for governor.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I just saw
Yes,
that.
I love it, dude.
Chandler literally
the
just told me that
simulation
today.
is just in full motion right
It's
now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger part 2. Is it in California?
So
I didn't really hear it.
He's the perfect candidate. She is the perfect candidate. Transgender, Republican, murder. She actually accidentally killed someone in a car accident.
Oh, I did see that. Okay, well, that's not the perfect candidate.
But for Hollywood,
But famous person, I mean, successful athlete.
what else?
You know.
Yeah, triathlete.
Decathlete. Gold medal,
Whatever. Yeah. I think she's the hottest of the Jenners. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't. I don't know too much about that.
Kiana,
but I just heard
I'm just
that.
kidding with you. I love you, baby.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. I mean, I don't know much about it. That's gonna be kind of crazy to.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm just like,
You just wanna see
it's all
things
joke
happen,
at this
huh?
point. I'm like, it's all joke.
What is a joke and what's not a joke? That's
Yeah, I'm living my own life as long as I'm just. I mean,
that
that's
doesn't
California.
affect you.
I'm
Yeah,
just like,
that's
whatever.
the thing. Yeah, California's gonna be California.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that place is already in a sinkhole, so it's like,
We'll see what goes on there. Yeah, maybe she could turn things around.
Never know, bro.
Gavin Newsom,
that actually,
you're out.
You never know. It might actually, Caitlyn might actually be like.
Who knows? Maybe
Real
she has
fit.
some good ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like maybe get everyone like fit because she's an athlete, right?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't. I don't know.
Well, I
if
know
she
what
trains anymore.
Schwarzenegger.
He was fit.
He was a good governor, huh?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
I'm not gonna comment
know
on that.
anything.
It's out of my scope. I do not know anything about that.
don't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Any other current events?
What are those things called? Those video clips that you said you could own?
Oh, the NFTs?
Yeah.
The NFT market.
Have you
the
bought
bubble.
any yet?
No, I haven't. I'm trying to get Chandler. So Chandler's a computer science major.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get him to figure out the blockchain so we could make some NFTs of our own. Because those are going for
We could
crazy,
NFT
I
this
think.
episode.
We literally could, or we could NFT just even a picture of us, or even the first picture of the Against the Grain podcast.
That would be cool.
Be pretty cool. I mean, like I think
So it's like
Was it
we're
Lindsay
basically
Lohan?
creating our own Pokemon cards in a way.
basically, yeah.
Is that's the way I'm looking at it? But it's
yeah,
like
it's
all
something
virtual?
that's I mean, like the idea behind it is that it's going to be something that's collectible, that's unique. You know what I mean? What's unique about it is you only have this blockchain code, right? That's a bunch of numbers and letters. You know what I mean? It's like, what does that mean?
Right.
But it definitely does prove that you are like the sole owner of that specific thing, whether it's a clip, a video, a piece of art.
It's just another way
a
for rich
picture.
people to say I own that.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, it is that.
LeBron's game-winning dunk. I own that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crazy part about it is that you don't even own it. You really only own like the rights to say you have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's all I'm saying. It's just like something that rich people could just brag about at like a dinner party.
Yeah, I mean the art. I mean the art side is kind of cool. I think like the digital art that they're doing is unique. It's kind of like revolutionizing.
So it's video
that.
clips and art.
You could do
like
clips
anything.
or pictures, and I mean basically in that you could get.
And you could create anything into an NFT.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know exactly how they create
say, I'm
it.
gonna, be
We could take a picture and have somebody make an NFT of it about it, and then we sell that, and who knows what it would sell for. I think like I don't know if it was Lindsay Lohan or Britney's. I think it was Lindsay Lohan. Like she literally just like made some like digital art and sold it for like $60,000 for what? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Supposedly it's gonna be revolutionary.
It's like
though.
this is the first painting Britney did in rehab.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. The market there. it's definitely a bubble right now, but
Yeah.
the idea is that bubble will kind of come back down, and then later on we're going to see how useful it is in the future.
It'll come back. Just like I just said, the only thing I could relate to is like Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember whenever Pokemon cards came out, everyone's like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, who would have thought 20 years later that there would be Pokemon cards selling for $1 million?
Yeah.
So it's like almost the same thing, I feel like.
I mean, it's all just going to be dependent on like what is the market.
Yeah.
What does the market want? You know what I mean? If the supply is higher, then and obviously the demand is low, then the price is going to shoot up.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there too.
Cool. What about the world of science? Has Elon done anything cool yet? Or any lately? I saw a bunch of people that had astronaut outfits on.
Did they? I don't know if I saw
it was
that.
like yesterday or today, and he's like, we're ready to go.
Well, I mean, I know that like he has the plan. Like he was trying to get people on Mars like very soon.
Would you go?
No, I don't think so.
Well, think about this, bro. Okay, so let's say we do have the technology.
If I'm looking at it,
okay,
what
yeah.
do I gain?
So what person, any human being that's kind of sane, would want to stay here, right?
Yeah.
What type of people are crazy enough to go out there? Like, imagine the civilization. No, hell no. No way, dude.
It would not be
it's gonna
like
be hell.
habitable. Yeah,
it's gonna be the worst.
Great. Yeah.
It wouldn't be great for at least like 80 years once you get there.
And there's no like proof that you're gonna come back. Either.
That's what I'm saying. It would take only crazy people. So imagine the first civilization in Mars would be all bunch like borderline suicidal people.
No, they have to screen those people because yeah, you know, I haven't thought about that, but that could be a huge.
Because like anyone that's just willing to say screw it, I'll go live in Mars is probably got something going on.
They don't got something going on here. There's no reason. Well,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
Elon said he was gonna go.
He ain't gonna go, bro. He said, and he realized that in his lifetime he won't be able to go. There's an interview where like he did the math, or someone smart scientist asked him and like basically made him realize that they're not gonna have enough technology, like within the time range that it takes to get there, that he won't be able to. And he like got kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? We might be able to make something with hyperspeed coming up.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there might be some advancement in.
Yeah, as long as I mean, we might get taxed 50% next year, and we might just make a spaceship.
Who knows? Yeah, I think it's pretty cool though. I like how he is like using his money to like further.
Yeah, dude.
Scientific
the world
research
needs some type of character like that, right?
Or Iron Man.
Yeah, we need some type of guy that's like willing to just do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like not a flamethrower. Like we need some crazy guy like that.
Not tunnels under LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret tunnels, dude. It's genius because in a way he almost created flight, or cars like that are flying.
Well, by going underground.
The way that he explained it is like, so you know how like we imagine cars flying and there's like highways that go on top of each other? He's like, it's the same thing but underground.
Yeah.
So you'll have like multi-layered freeways, you know, still working.
Yeah.
But
well,
I don't know.
Make them into trains then at that point. I don't know.
You think they'll do that? Well, like one big subway?
Did you watch Godzilla versus King Kong?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, how they did that?
And they had like the tunnels that went underground, so something like that.
That would be sick. That movie was pretty sick. Oh dude, the Mortal Kombat movie came out today.
Oh really? I know you're a huge Mortal Kombat fan.
Yeah.
I like Smash Bros. That's my fighting game. I know.
I like Smash Bros. Too. I like it. Smash Bros. Has some cool characters.
Are you gonna go watch that, or have you?
I have it. I have HBO Max. I might watch it today or later on. I don't know.
Okay.
It might be corny. I have like zero expectations for movies these days.
think if you're like into the game and you know all the characters and stuff, it's probably gonna be a lot cooler than like for me watching because I don't really know.
Yeah, you just be like,
about it. Yeah.
You know, Scorpion, get over here.
Yeah.
What about King Kong vs. Godzilla? Did you watch that yet?
Yeah, I did watch it. You said you watched it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like, you go into the movie, like, you're not expecting the plot to be very good, right?
You can't expect good writing, bro.
You want to see the big monsters, the kaiju fight each other.
I don't care about the humans, bro.
Yeah.
Squash them.
Yeah. So, like, I think they just put, like, basically, like, the plot is in there just to, like, take up time and then
they're like, let's throw in the Stranger Things girl, you know? So
yeah.
We'll put all our money on her. And then
I was not expecting Mechagodzilla, though. Were you expecting that?
Yeah, because I watch too many YouTube videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
do you follow new rock stars on YouTube?
No.
Guys, if you like watching Marvels or Marvel episodes, like what is it? Like Falcon, anything, WandaVision, any good movie, new rock stars on YouTube breaks down every single clip and they like make predictions and they're almost right, like 80% of the time.
And you know what? I normally I do, but I've just been busy with school. I think I watched this guy like Emergency Austin.
Oh, Emergency! I follow Emergency. He's the same thing.
Yeah, he does the
exactly
same thing.
The
so
same
normally I do know a lot about like if I'm ever going to watch like a Marvel movie or something, kind of know what's gonna happen already. Do
you have any YouTube channels like to recommend that you like watching?
Easy Cubing.
Easy Cubing. Shout out Easy Cubing. 1 million subscribers.
Who else?
That's my cousin, by the way. That's
I've been watching a lot of like Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman. I just watched him and Tim Dillon, and I watched him and who were we just talking about? Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Totally different type of characters.
Yeah. No, I'm watching one right now. I think it was like I can't remember what the guy. I think the guy's name is like Dear Love or something. He's talking about cryptocurrency and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I get lost trying to understand.
Yeah,
I've watched so much on Bitcoin and stuff that I still can't understand it.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I mean, he talks a lot about like the psychology and kind of like the history of money, which is pretty cool. And then he kind of does like a theoretical version of like economics and stuff, which was really cool for me.
Lex Friedman. That's a sick name, Lex. Like Lex Luthor.
Like Lex Luthor, yeah.
Did you know he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I just watched his like.
Dude, he's
for some reason it showed up in my YouTube feed, like his like acceptance.
That kind of puts him up there with Elon, bro. Because if it comes down to it, Lex Friedman will just freaking choke him out.
Well, yeah.
But Elon will just like.
Elon will call his like
robot dogs.
Call his drone to like yeah.
That would be sick if they both made like robot suits and fought each other, bro. I would pay for that.
Yeah. Batman versus Iron Man. But Lex Friedman's obviously not as rich as...
For sure. Yeah. I've been at home sick all week. Well, I'm not sick anymore. And I'm negative for COVID. Disclaimer. But I've like had a lot of time. When I do have free time, I watch almost all the comedians' podcasts. Tiger Belly. I watched Theo Vaughn this past weekend. Tim Dillon. Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee. They got some good guests. I haven't been watching Joe Rogan that much. If he has a good guest, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
H3. Have you heard of H3?
H3 or?
It's just called, H3.
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah, I watch them sometimes.
Hila and Ethan?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I watch...
have you ever watched their old videos?
No, the ones that put them on. Are they hilarious?
You have to go back.
The skits?
They are hilarious.
Before the podcast?
Oh, yeah, way before the podcast. Like 10 years ago. Old stuff. Hilarious. There's one with Will.i.am. I remember.
Oh wait, was it the one where they were watching them back in the day? Like, was it a podcast where they were rewatching old ones?
They might have rewatched their old videos.
Yeah,
there's one with
they were talking about that.
And he has
talking about the watch.
Yeah, he has this watch that like it tells you your
good
moods.
Vibes.
Yeah, your vibe watch or something. I don't remember.
He's all, my mom just died. Bad vibes.
Yeah. So you've seen that's like the clip from the video. That video is so funny, and he has a lot of other ones where he talks. Basically, what he used to do is like he would expose like the early prank videos on YouTube, and
it's funny because they're hilarious, huh?
Like the Joey Salads one are hilarious too.
Yeah.
And then he eventually like gets them to come on. Like Mo, there were two brothers that he like exposed or like he would just clown on, and then he has some funny videos with iDubbbz too.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys got time, check out those podcasts. Shout out Easy Cubing, our cousin Zeke. He's got a YouTube channel. It's got amazing videos. He could basically solve like 5 Rubik's Cubes like this with his eyes closed. It's pretty sick. What's your Instagram handle? Do you have anything else to plug before you
I mean, my Instagram is Zach Armadillo, so kind of play on words.
Okay.
Potamio. And then that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and follow Princeton Track and Field too.
Yeah, definitely.
I just started following them.
Yeah.
Shout out Chandler. You just threw the third farthest in Princeton history.
Yep, 69.70. That's meters. So he threw like 228 or something in feet.
Cool.
Great.
That's huge, man. Shout out Chandler, man. Keep it up.
Yep. Hopefully, I told him if he breaks the school record, which is 72 meters, it's like another 8 feet or something. Yeah. That we should have him on the podcast.
Sick.
I think that would be cool. Be the farthest thrower.
That would be sick, man. History. I'm more than happy to have anyone here.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just ordered a ton of new merch. Right now, we just have 2 brands of the ATG shirts out. We got the long sleeve with the mountains, and then we got just the short sleeve just with the little patch right here. On next Saturday, May 1st, I'm going to have a booth at the Art Fight at Ito's Barbershop. And I don't think he's officially announced this, but I'm just saying it right now because it's a week out. I got to just start talking about it. Go support me, guys. My goal is to sell as much merch as I can, all in one. And with that money, we'll be able to buy just 10 more brands of different styles of shirts. And, once we get like maybe 5 shirts on the market, we'll create a website and just keep it growing. Cool. So I know the podcast is like our main, focus. This is like what I care about the most. But I want to be able to just share our brand and who we are and stuff. So come support the podcast May 1st at Ito's Barbershop. May 1st from 2 to 7 or 2 to 6. 1 to 6. Okay? Follow my Instagram. I love you guys. Zach, it's been a pleasure. I hope to have you back, brother.
Thank you.
Look at this, brother. Hey. We love you guys. Whoop whoop.